Put one brown bottle beside 9 different appliances, and it can produce 9 completely different results. On one rubber seal, 3% hydrogen peroxide may help remove a patch of mildew. Inside another machine, the same liquid can reach metal, wiring, adhesive, or a sensor that was never designed to get wet. The dangerous part is that both situations may begin with the exact same impressive fizz. That fizz convinces people peroxide is repairing the appliance. Appliance technicians see the part that appears days or months later, the smell that returns, the seal that stops sealing, the finish that turns cloudy, or the machine that still cannot drain. So before you pour hydrogen peroxide into a washer, refrigerator, dishwasher, coffee maker, or anything else with a plug, here are 9 things the viral cleaning videos usually leave out. Number 1. Bubbles do not prove that an appliance is clean. Pour peroxide onto old food, mildew, blood, or other organic residue, and it may foam immediately. Hydrogen peroxide naturally breaks down into water and oxygen. Enzymes in living material, along with certain metals and contaminants, can accelerate that breakdown. Released oxygen creates the white bubbles. They prove that a reaction is happening, but they do not measure how much grease was removed, how many organisms remain, or whether the source of the odor has been reached. Clean 2 equal dirty areas of an approved removable part. Use warm water and a drop of dish detergent on one. Treat the other only as its care instructions allow. The peroxide side may look more dramatic because it foams. After wiping, rinsing, and drying, the detergent side may be cleaner because detergent carries grease away. Peroxide is an oxidizer, not a universal degreaser. Disinfection is also more specific than seeing bubbles. A disinfectant's label specifies its surface and wet contact time. Foam wiped away after 10 seconds is not proof of a validated process. First, remove the physical soil. If disinfection is needed, use a product approved for that surface and follow its label. The first secret is simple. Judge the dry result, not the wet performance. Number 2. A dishwasher door gasket is one of the few places where peroxide may have a legitimate narrow job. Open a neglected dishwasher and look along the folds of the door seal. Food residue and moisture can collect there because the spray does not wash every edge of the gasket. That buildup can create odor, interfere with the seal, and provide a place for mildew to grow. Whirlpool specifically describes warm soapy water and a toothbrush for a dirty dishwasher gasket, followed by 3% hydrogen peroxide when mold or mildew is present. Notice how limited that advice is. It does not say to empty a bottle into the tub. It does not say to fill the rinse aid compartment. It begins with physical cleaning because peroxide cannot oxidize its way through a thick layer of grease and food. Apply a little to the affected gasket, avoid the latch and controls, then wipe and dry. Now perform the test a repair technician performs. Close the door on a strip of paper at several points around the seal. If the paper slides out with almost no resistance in one section, cleaning may not solve the leak. The gasket may be displaced, hardened, or damaged. Peroxide can lighten a dark spot, but it cannot restore the shape of worn rubber. If water still appears on the floor, stop treating the symptom and inspect the seal, spray arms, detergent use, machine level, and drain condition. Number 3. Pouring peroxide into a smelly washing machine usually misses the real reservoir. A front-load washer can look spotless when the door is open while holding a surprising amount of residue inside the folds of the rubber boot. Pull the fold back gently and you may find hair, lint, detergent gel, a coin, or stagnant water blocking the small drain openings. Peroxide in the drum may be diluted and pumped away without reaching those deposits. The more revealing experiment requires no chemical at first. With the machine empty and safely off, inspect the gasket folds without removing panels. Clear only accessible debris, wipe the surfaces according to the model's manual, and check whether the small gasket drains are obstructed. Clean the detergent dispenser and any user-serviceable pump filter exactly as the instructions describe. Then run the manufacturer's cleaning cycle with the specified washer cleaner. After the cycle, dry the gasket and leave the door ajar when the manufacturer permits it. If the smell stays away longer than it did after the peroxide treatment, the lesson is obvious. Moisture control and residue removal solved what oxidation only disguised. Some manufacturers specify diluted chlorine bleach for particular washer seals, others recommend mild detergent or an appliance cleaner. Peroxide is not an automatic substitute, especially if bleach residue could still be present. Never combine the two and never keep adding different chemicals because the first one did not work. A persistent sewage-like odor may come from the drain, standpipe, filter, or installation rather than the drum. A technician traces the water path. A viral hack treats the part visible to the camera. Number 4. The refrigerator gasket is not just dirty rubber. It is an energy-saving component. Every time the compressor runs, that soft magnetic seal helps keep warm, humid room air outside. A sticky spill inside its folds can prevent full contact. The refrigerator then runs longer, frost can develop, and condensation may appear near the door. Cleaning the gasket can therefore correct what looks like a cooling problem, but more chemical is not better. Manufacturers commonly direct owners to use mild soap and warm water, then rinse and dry the gasket. Some warn against other cleaners on their seals. An internet peroxide recipe is not universally safe simply because the gasket is white. Repeated soaking can reach adhesive, metal channels, or untested surfaces. Use the dollar bill test instead. Clean and dry the gasket as the manual directs, close the door on a bill or strip of paper, and pull gently. Repeat around the seal. Strong, fairly even resistance suggests contact. A loose area may indicate debris, a twisted seal, a misaligned door, or a gasket that needs service. Peroxide cannot magnetize a weak gasket or level a refrigerator. If the inside smells, remove expired food and wash removable bins separately. Do not spray a cloud of peroxide toward air vents, lights, fans, an ice maker, or the control housing. A refrigerator is a food storage machine with electrical parts, not an empty plastic box. The technician's secret is that the seal test tells you more than the bubbles do. Number 5. A microwave has places you can wipe and places liquid should never enter. Exploded tomato sauce on the cavity wall is organic, so peroxide may bubble against it. Yet the safest first tool is often steam. Heat a microwave-safe bowl of water according to the appliance instructions, let the steam soften the splatter, then wipe the cool interior with a soft cloth. The water changes the dried food physically. Mild detergent handles grease. Peroxide adds very little if the problem is simply hardened sauce. The risky mistake is spraying directly into vent openings, the control panel, the door latch slots, or the small cover inside the cavity that protects the waveguide. Liquid behind those areas can reach switches and electrical components. Never remove that cover for a cleaning experiment. Never operate a microwave with a damaged interior, and never scrub through a chipped or burned coating. For a removable glass turntable, follow the manual, avoid sudden temperature changes, and wash it like the removable food contact part it is. If an approved peroxide product is ever used on a compatible food contact surface, it must be rinsed as its label requires. The useful boundary is easy to remember. Bring removable parts to the cleaner. Do not send cleaner searching through the appliance. Number 6. Peroxide can brighten a blender jar while quietly ruining the base underneath it. Berry, turmeric, and tomato pigments can stain clear plastic. Because peroxide can oxidize colored compounds, a small concealed test on a compatible removable part may lighten some stains. But a lighter stain does not mean scratches, cloudiness, or absorbed odor have been repaired. Old plastic can remain discolored, and long exposure may affect printing, finishes, seals, or metal parts. The motor base is the hard boundary. Blender manufacturers instruct owners to switch the unit off, unplug it, and wipe the base with a clean, damp cloth. They do not tell owners to rinse it under a faucet or pour peroxide around the drive socket. Liquid can travel down the shaft opening toward bearings, switches, and the motor. It may seem fine immediately and fail after corrosion develops. Separate only the parts the manual says are removable. Watch the blade edges, wash the jar, lid, and approved gasket with detergent, rinse completely, and let everything dry before reassembly. If a gasket holds odor after correct cleaning, replacement may be safer than repeated chemical soaking. And if the jar is cracked or the blade assembly leaks, no amount of peroxide can make it mechanically sound. This is why technicians distinguish cosmetic discoloration from failure. A yellow jar may still work. A clean-looking base filled with liquid may not. Number 7. Hydrogen peroxide is the wrong chemistry for scale inside a coffee maker. White flakes, slow brewing, extra noise, and a weak flow often point to mineral scale left behind as water is heated. That deposit is mainly inorganic. Peroxide is famous for reacting with organic stains, but oxygen bubbles do not magically dissolve calcium buildup. Pouring it through a brewer can expose tubing, valves, heaters, seals, and food contact passages without performing the descaling job the machine actually needs. Coffee maker manufacturers provide model-specific descaling procedures using their descaling solution or, on some models, a stated amount of vinegar. The procedure may require a special mode, a resting period, and several freshwater rinses. Follow that sequence rather than substituting a chemical because it cleans something else in the house. Here is the visual test. Compare the measured brew volume and time before and after the approved descaling process. A stronger, steadier flow is evidence that the restriction changed. Foam in the reservoir is not. If the brewer still delivers too little water, the problem may involve a clogged needle, filter, pump, or valve that is safely accessible only as the manual describes. Never mix descaler or vinegar with peroxide. Combining peroxide and vinegar can form peracetic acid, a stronger irritant. Even using them one after another without thorough rinsing can create unnecessary exposure. The bottle that looks gentler is not automatically the right product for a machine that prepares something you drink. Number 8. A dryer is cleaned most effectively with almost no liquid. When clothes need 2 cycles to dry, people blame the heating element. Technicians first look at airflow. A lint screen can appear clean while a nearly invisible film from fabric softener products restricts its mesh. The exhaust hose can be crushed, the outside hood can be blocked, or lint can collect in the accessible trap area. Peroxide does nothing useful to a dry airflow restriction. Remove lint from the screen after every load. For a deeper cleaning, manufacturers commonly describe a nylon brush, detergent, and water for the removable screen, followed by complete rinsing and drying before it returns to the dryer. The slot itself is handled with an appropriate vacuum attachment or the method in the manual, not by pouring liquid into it. Try the water test on the removed screen. If clean water pools on the mesh instead of passing through, a transparent residue may be present. After proper detergent cleaning and full drying, water should pass more freely. That small test can explain longer drying times without a new heating element. Never spray peroxide inside a warm dryer, onto sensors, near the burner area, or into the exhaust system. Liquid, lint, electricity, and heat are a terrible experiment. If the vent run needs internal service, airflow remains poor, the dryer overheats, or you smell burning, stop using it and arrange proper inspection. The best peroxide trick for a dryer is leaving the bottle on the shelf. Number 9. The owner's manual is a compatibility chart, not boring paperwork. 2 appliances that look identical can use different gasket materials, coatings, adhesives, stainless alloys, plastics, and sensor layouts. A peroxide method that one manufacturer mentions for one dishwasher gasket does not become permission to use it on every washer boot, refrigerator seal, ice maker, oven liner, or control panel. Technicians check the model number because the surface is only half the story. What sits behind it matters just as much. Before using any product, identify 3 things. First, is it ordinary 3% household peroxide or a stronger solution? Higher concentrations can be far more hazardous and have no place in an improvised appliance hack. Second, does the appliance manual allow that cleaner on that exact part? Third, does the product label require rinsing, ventilation, gloves, or a specific wet contact time? Put the peroxide on a cloth when appropriate instead of flooding a surface. Keep it away from openings and electrical parts. Test an inconspicuous spot. Do not use it on a hot appliance. Do not seal it in a container, and keep it in its original dark bottle away from children. Most importantly, never mix it with bleach, vinegar, ammonia, descaler, or another household cleaner. If a different chemical was used first, rinse thoroughly and let the area dry before deciding what comes next. Now the 9 appliances tell one coherent story. Peroxide can oxidize certain organic stains and, When a manufacturer specifically permits it, help with a small mildew patch on a compatible non-porous surface. It cannot remove lint by oxidation, dissolve mineral scale like a proper descaler, repair a torn gasket, clear a drain, restore worn plastic, or fix an electrical part. The brown bottle is neither a miracle nor a scam. It is a specialized chemical whose value depends on concentration, material, contact time, and location. Appliance technicians do not diagnose by watching foam. They clean away the soil, follow the water and airflow, test the seal, inspect the part after it dries, and ask what caused the buildup in the first place. Once you do the same, you stop using hydrogen peroxide to make an appliance look repaired and start solving the problem that would have brought the technician back.